Pause is in my base. Pause is in my base. I got him. I got him. He's here. He is here. Look, it's him. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you from the Mindcrack server. And guess what? I've done a lot of things off camera. Let's take a look. I've moved this entire system, which took some time, but I got it moved. So it has been moved to the left quite significantly, as well as part of it has been moved down, so that now... Hi, Enderman. There we go. So that now I can actually incorporate the filling section right here, which I've started building just to make sure it would actually function right, directly into my item sorter. So if I can extend this line out, I actually got to make more hoppers to be able to have the line in general have something on top of the line. Excuse me, to actually move the items. They'll come down here. I just got to extend them down. I moved it way farther than I actually anticipated, which is good and bad. What it allows me to do is add these chests back in. I can get chests and everything actually right up and butt them up to this edge. Even though this one is not butted up to the edge. So maybe like this edge where I had it stop, I can get them all the way up there completely safely without any concerns of overlap. And I still got like a 2 or 3 block buffer as well, which is good. So I want to put this wall back together. It's not... I can't say it's 100% done because there's still some things. Like, look, I moved the potion brewer stand out here as well. I was looking at it more and more and realized that I can't move it directly right here. Because if I move it directly right here, like 1 block out, what happens is I have to have the nether wart or all the items drop in from the top. So you would see the... the hopper straight through the wall. There'd actually be like, you know, just take these out. You'd see this hopper if it was right here, which just having potion stand and hopper may not be that big of a deal. But then in order to get the water bottles to actually feed in, which I have coming in this side, so they feed in water bottles, I couldn't put it behind in the hopper chain because the lower hopper would take priority and try to suck items down from it. It was just going to be a big mess. So I have to like recess it one, which still might be fine because if you notice, it's a couple blocks away. I had to add an extra 3 hoppers in here to get the items all the way to where they need to go, which actually gives me a slight buffer that what I can do is make a chest and put a chest here, have my whole hopper system or my whole potion system back here, make a timer so that when the potions are done brewing, it'll actually dump them out from the bottom of the hopper and maybe even spit them into a chest I have here instead. But right now I had just covered up part of the wall to make it, to see if it would look okay like that, but I really didn't like the way that it was going, so I just kind of, you know, threw some stairs around it. Whatever. We did some things. We live, we learn, we do stuff or whatnot, but I've moved it all down here. I'm almost out of food. The one thing I don't like is the fact that since I moved it down here, my wall pattern is off. The wall pattern can be off. I might just need to make like a border around this. Maybe because this phone's going to come out of here. Maybe a border like this, though, around it. And change the background wall a little bit so it doesn't blend so funny with the way that the wall is. But either way, I've got some things moved. Why was this here? What did I have in here? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe that was the starting of me getting ready to build this chest or something before I decided to move it. I don't even remember. But either way, it's nice because I've definitely given myself enough room to finally get this guy finished, and I am very, very, very excited about that. I'll tell you, I'm still loving this deck, man. I think I'm so, like, happy and proud of myself for what this is. Look at that skeleton. Just chilling in the igloo. He's like, hey, man. I want to be in this igloo. And I was like, okay. So, one of these days I will finish actually getting enough iron to get all the hoppers made. Actually, I probably have enough iron right now to make all the hoppers. And then I just need to figure out an item transport system between this side of the room and this side of the room since I've added this deck in. And I think that's going to involve like a water stream or something probably on ice going underneath the floor, dispensing all the items out, shooting them across here, have them come back up and start again through one of the ice ladders, I think is what I might end up doing, but I'm not 100% sure how I want to work that yet. One of my chests is stuck open. There we go. It is now closed. So, let me get some things prepared, and we will continue on with this episode. Okay, I didn't get too much prepared. I just put a lot of stuff away, and then it was raining, and I got stuck inside, but I think it's good now. I think all I'm going to do the rest of this episode is get some things tidied up, like get my sheep. Oh, this door is gone. Breeding my sheep. Oh, I guess I don't have too much planted out here, that's why. Because I do have to finally try to take care of some life things now that I got some time off of work. It's really rough to work multiple days in a row, because I worked 4 in a row. I've told you guys this already. You guys are probably sick of hearing this. I worked 4 in a row. I was in a class all day today, and I gotta go to the fire station tomorrow, so I really don't have much time for... You guys, I actually don't care which blue ones breed together, because they will always form some type of blue sheep. I don't want them to breed with the black ones, though. Or the... God, that sounded horrible. I didn't mean it like that, people. I swear to God. Anybody can mate with anybody they want. How's that? You guys feel free. I will not judge anybody for anything or be upset or be sad. I'm very happy for... I can't dig myself out of this hole. What I meant was that I can breed the sheep, the blue ones together, because I will either end up with a dark blue or a light blue sheep, which is what I need now so I can finish that igloo. It had nothing to do with the fact that that other sheep was anything except for not blue. That still sounds racist. Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about this. So, guys, anyways, what's going on? Anyways, now that I'm finally got some time off, what I finished up doing finally, let's say finally again. Hey, finally these potatoes grew. Finally, I harvested them. No, but what I'm trying to say is I got my taxes done. And it took me a while to get my taxes done because I had started working on them about 2 weeks ago, and then I ran into a problem and was going to come to them later and then got busy with a bunch of other stuff. Granted, I'm still early on doing my taxes, but let me tell you what a pain in the ass my taxes were this year. So my father used to do my taxes for me for a long time when I lived at home. He actually got a side gig working at H&R Block for a couple tax seasons as a tax guy. So he's very smart with doing the taxes and things like that. He hasn't done it in years, though. And ever since I moved out of state, like even when I lived there still, my dad was always like, he always does, taxes. He uses TurboTax a lot. He used to do it by hand, then he used TurboTax because he likes it. It makes it easier for him, and he can, put all the stuff in there. And it's no big deal. It's willing to pay that nominal fee to do that stuff. Granted, he always still does. He buys the home version of TurboTax. He won't do the online one, which I find funny. But there's a lot of people like that, I think, with their taxes. But even when I still lived in the state of Michigan, he would offer to do my taxes for me and just be like, yeah, drop off your W-2s and stuff. I'll just work them up when I do the rest of the families. It's not a big deal. It was simple, though. It was always an easy form. For those who don't have to do taxes, you can either do like your 1040 easy, which is pretty much like a one-pager. You go through, you do it. It's quick, it's easy. It's supposed to be what it is, but you can't maximize your refund potential. But if you don't have anything to maximize your potential with, that's what you do, is you do the easy form. Problem is now, I've got the YouTube thing. I've got multiple different jobs. I live in a completely different state than, they live in. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. The YouTube thing, yes, it is considered a business. So you have to write it off as a as a side business that you have, and you can write off your, your losses and things like that. If I were to just put my YouTube stuff in there, you don't get taxed on, YouTube earnings, so I would just owe a bunch of money. Oh, I came in here to get shears. That's what I came in here to get, and I don't know where they're at. So I would owe a bunch of money just in taxes, but the nice thing is you can, write off the expenditures that you have for the business as well. So it takes you to a step farther than just being able to do the easy form, because you can't do that in the easy form. So I've been doing my taxes on my own for a couple of years. I ran into a huge problem a couple years ago because living in the DC area, I guess DC has an agreement with Virginia and Washington, and Washington, that would make sense. Virginia and Maryland, that if you live in those states and work in DC, that you'll automatically just pay the state taxes that you live in, because they have a mutual agreement with each other that they're so close. We're not going to make somebody who lives in Maryland file DC taxes because they happen to work in DC. We'll have them just file Maryland taxes. We'll have an agreement together. Well, the problem is, if you move multiple times in a year like I did, I moved 3 times within a 1-year span between DC, Virginia, and Maryland. And it made it so I had to file taxes in all 3 states, which was ridiculously difficult because you have to fill out all the different state tax returns, as well as the fact that if you do it, with any programs like TurboTax or, Tax Act or whatever, you have to pay to file in each state. So it just increases the amount that you have to pay. So that sucked. I sucked it up. I paid the, $39.95 or whatever the heck it cost. I don't remember what it cost at the time, in order to do all that, filing and make sure that I had gotten all my taxes taken care of. I was really confused at first, and I talked to some people and figured out that, I really do owe these taxes to these states. And I was like, oh, that is so annoying, because you're theoretically supposed to pay taxes where you work or where you live. Like, if you work part of the time in one state and work part of the time in the other state, you do need to file both sets of taxes. That is the way that it works. Show all these guys. But when you like I said, the agreement with, DC, Maryland, Virginia, there's other states that have agreements as well. So, done with that a couple years ago. I've just had to file DC taxes last year. Made it easy. Granted, DC taxes are expensive, but whatever. It was one state I had to file. I will just file it, be on my merry way. Oh no, sheepies, don't run away. Okay, you guys are going to trample all my crops now. Just be good or something. I don't know what else to tell you. Now, this year, the problem I ran into is that not only am I getting taxed for multiple states, even though I only live and work in one, but there's also extra taxes that are getting added to it. So, as you know, I became an online adjunct faculty professor through the University of Michigan. I am not based in Michigan. I asked them when I got the job, my first paycheck came through, and I said, look, you're taking out Michigan taxes. You need to change it and take out DC taxes because I live in DC. And they're like, no, this is the way it works. They take out the Michigan taxes, and what you have to do is you have to file a return at the end of the year and get all your taxes taken back that you paid to Michigan and pay them out to DC. And I'm like, just take out DC taxes in the first place. Because I worked before, when I worked for the government, I still technically lived at home in Michigan, and they just took out Michigan taxes for me because apparently the government's smart enough to be able to do that, whereas other entities are not necessarily smart enough to be able to do that. Because somebody else tried to tell me it was based on the fact that if it doesn't have the exclusive agreement, they won't do that. But you can't tell me that Michigan and Virginia and DC had the exclusive agreement just through the government entity, whereas they don't for, other entities. Either way, whatever. So I got really frustrated. I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew at the end of the year I was going to get stuck with this whole Michigan debacle and having to deal with it despite having tried to fix it at the beginning. The other part I didn't realize, though, because I'd never had to deal with this before, is there's certain cities and municipalities that if you live in them or if you work in them, you have to pay those taxes as well. Since the place I'm working at is officially University of Michigan Flint campus, they're taking out Flint taxes from me as well, which I definitely don't owe. Now, this wouldn't be a big deal if it was just filed through your Michigan taxes, because I had to file those anyway because of this whole thing. So I paid the $39.95 to file Michigan taxes, and I could have done it one of two ways. I could have argued with them and tried to, say on my taxes, oh, I want all the money back from Michigan because I officially don't work in Michigan. I actually work from a remote location, therefore I don't owe the Michigan taxes and get a refund from all my Michigan taxes, yet have to pay it back to DC, or I could just deal with it and pay Michigan taxes as if I was a non-resident of Michigan, which is, it's a tax category. So I chose the easy, whatever, let's just do the non-resident of Michigan thing, pay the taxes, because they don't assume that I'm a remote employee. I don't know if they even consider me a remote employee, because I don't have any other remote employees doing this. Everybody who teaches these online classes still lives and works in Michigan, so they still consider their base location Michigan, even though I'm like this weird candidate. Whatever. I was just going to deal with it that way. But I have to file these Flint taxes as well. And when I was doing it more and more and more, figuring things out, you can file a lot of your taxes, especially state taxes and city taxes. You can file for free if you do it by paper and by through the mail and all this stuff, and fill out the paperwork on your own. You can do it for free, but you have to have all the information in there. I fill out my taxes on TurboTax, Tax Act, those online programs. I actually filled multiple of them out this year to try to find out if I could maximize my refund, or if one was going to make it easier than the other, and I ran into the same problem with all of them. They will not give you the form that you need to fill out if you could do it, to do it for free, but they charge you for the city as if the city was a state. So they charged me the amount of money it would cost to file another state return, because it was filing a separate return through one of the programs. It had cheaper per state. It was only like $20-something per state to file with this program, but it charged me for Flint as a state, whereas another program charged me, it was more money per state, but they didn't charge me for the Flint taxes separately. And then at the end of it all, they still tell me it would just fill out the paperwork for me, and I still have to mail it in. So I got stuck paying extra money no matter how I looked at it, because I was either paying more money from a program because they charged more per state, or the cheaper tax program I could have used would have charged me for Flint as if it was a state, and therefore it would have made the savings null. So I got myself screwed by having an extra job. So essentially, I seriously, like, having an extra job cost me $40 to file taxes to a city that only taxed me $38. So it cost me more money to file my taxes than taxes that I paid. And if that's not some kind of racket, like, Flint, good job. You earned $38 from me, but you earned another company more money than you made from me. In the whole thing, like, it makes absolutely no sense. I hate taxes. I wish they would simplify taxes. I understand some aspects of why taxes are complicated, but when you get into this whole debacle of, like, if I wasn't supposed to get charged your taxes, have there be an easy way for me to be like, no, I shouldn't have been charged these taxes, because I couldn't just fill out a form and, like, send it to them as opposed to trying to get all my deductions in there, because that's what they still want. The forms that I have to mail into Flint are still ridiculous. It includes all of my income from all of my jobs, all of my W-2 information. They need all of my information still filled out on these forms. And then basically the explanation of why I owe them as little as I do, like why only this much money was made based on being in Michigan, or why I don't owe them at all because I don't live in Michigan. They need to make just an easy way for you to be able to do that. And they don't, which unfortunately makes it so that now that you happen to have a business that's in Flint, Flint taxes come out of me, and then I basically have to fight for my taxes back at the end of the year, or fight for my refund, or let's just ignore it. Oh no, that's illegal. I can't just ignore the garbage because that one came out exactly even. I am getting nothing. They are getting nothing from me. I just have to pay money in order to tell them we're even. Thanks, Flint. How are you so bankrupt when you have a system that already works like that? I mean, I don't get it. You can't be that low on fundage I don't know why I'm still beating this tree without having an axe. But yeah, it drives me a little bit insane because it basically gives me a headache for trying to have a job that already gives me a headache enough because it's another job I have to deal with. To then just have more of a headache, to pay money, just to lose money, to be like, yo, we're even, we're fine. It'd be like making a bet with somebody and losing. So you go double or nothing, and then you win. But then you still have to pay to tell them you're even. That you don't owe each other anything. You somehow have to pay, but not each other, because it wouldn't even out that way. You would somehow lose money by evening out. I don't know. That's what it did. That's what it is. Taxes suck. When you get there, you'll love them. Don't worry, they're not too bad. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Press that like button. I'll see you next time.